Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Servant Leader Speaks on today, the 31st day of July, very last day of the month. We started July 1st. This is our 11th show of the month. We're wrapping up the month a little excited. I'm Ali McIntosh, your host for the broadcast. And in the background, Ricardo Clark, Make a Move, Bahamian Ricardo Clark. I think it's a very exciting song. So congratulations to him. I think this is his newest song, and we don't have the rights to the music. We're just playing a little bit of it as we talk about the things that we will talk about today, which is the Josiah Institute. The Josiah Institute for Public Policy, the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy, and that is what we will talk about today. It's going to be a very informative, very educational show, I would say, very informative. I want you to call someone to tell them to come online the show if they are looking to get an international certification. So if you know someone wanting an international certification in a short time, this is the show to listen to so that you can get information on that. If you want to get a raise on your job, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 raise, you want to look into this certification. If you're planning to move to the United States or Canada, need certification so you can get a good job when you move, you need to call someone, tell them, listen into this show, because what we're going to talk about today is going to be able to help you in that regard. Thank you, Lavita Thurston, for joining us. Paul Maynard, thank you for those of you who are going to be coming in, those of you who are coming in. We're going to have a wonderful show. We're going to have a wonderful broadcast today. I don't want to call it a show because it's about important matters. So as a broadcast, we are talking about things that matters most. We're going to say a word of prayer, and then we're going to get right into this information. So if you want to call someone, let them know that if they want some information on getting an international certification, they can go ahead and listen in for the next 45 minutes or so. We will talk between 2 and 3. We will be talking. We have a number 423-2709, 242-423-2709. You are going to be able to send your information, send and ask questions, ask them on the thread so that we can answer your questions. So let's do a word of prayer, and then we are going to begin. It's very important information for those of you looking to start a new future and need further education right here in Nassau. U.S. certification available right here in Nassau. Let's bow our heads for a minute. Father, we thank you for the words that we will speak today, those persons who will be listening, and we pray that the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart will be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer, so that that which we do today would give glory and honor to your name and bless your people. In Jesus' name, amen. So thank you again for those of you who are listening. We have a very important show lined up talking about the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy. As I said before, if you know someone who is looking to get an international certification in leadership development for a better job, you can call them, tell them, listen into the show. If you are on the job, if you're a public sector worker, private sector worker, and you want a raise on the job, $15,000, $20,000 raise, you would want to take one of these certification programs. If you're planning to move to the US or Canada and you want a better certification so you can get a good job, then you want to go ahead and listen into this program today. We're going to give you all the information on the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy, what it is we're offering here in the Bahamas for the benefit of public sector workers, for the benefit of private sector workers, for leadership for persons going into public life. All of that is available with the Josiah Institute. Now, yesterday we had online Dr. Sandra Smith, the president of the Josiah Institute, and she talked to us about the importance of training for the public sector, the importance of what the Josiah Institute will do. I'm your humble servant. I am the chairman of the Josiah Institute, and it was a really divine program that the Lord gave me, and it's for over a decade. It's been in hibernation in terms of development, but now it was launched last year, 2018. The charter was signed. The charter was put forward on the August 8th, 2018. 8/8/2018, very significant day. Of course, for those of you who want to know what Josiah is about, Josiah was a king, a young king, came to the throne at the age of 8 in ancient Israel. When he became 16, he began reforms in the nation. When he became 21, he began to break down idols in the nation. He began a massive reformation in the nation, spiritually, physically. He began to do things in the nation that changes. And this institute is named after and in the honor of Josiah, the ancient king of Israel. What is interesting about Josiah and the purpose that we have the institute named after Josiah is because he implemented what we call righteous governance. And his father and his grandfather, his great-grandfather was King Hezekiah. And for those of you who are biblical students know that Hezekiah was a righteous king, and he put in place many worship experiences for the nation of Israel. And so between King Hezekiah and Josiah, there were two kings, which was his father and his grandfather. And both of them were very wicked. So when Josiah came to the throne, he began to reshape public policy. He began to establish godly principles in the governance of the nation. Thank you very much, Vanessa Roll, EJ, all the way from Canada. It's good to have you every day, EJ. Vanessa, Queenie, thank you so much too for joining us. But as we talk about what Josiah is, this institution, Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy in the nation, is very important. The point of Josiah Institute is to really change the tone and change the temperature in the nation regarding leadership and how we go forward. The Josiah Institute, let me go right to it, and I'm going to be talking to you a great deal from the website of the Josiah Institute. It is www.thejosiahinstitute.com. The Josiah Institute is a private, independently owned, yet is a quasi-non-profit educational forum and leading learning community seeking to advance leadership protocols in both private, public sector agency through ethical wisdom. Now, as Dr. Sandra said yesterday, the importance of ethical wisdom is necessary as we look to recreate, reform what leadership should look like in the nation. And so the establishment of the Josiah Institute have determined by several and a varieties of ways, we will bring reform to public policy, to the creation of legislation, and it will be guided, it will provide guiding principles for the system of behavioral policy at all levels of the public sector and national leadership. we are aware that there is a challenge in the world, not just only in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, as we've seen the many revelations of malfeasance in public office, conflict of interest, but there are challenges of integrity and lack of transparency and accountability throughout the world. And there is a need to improve organizational talent management. That is the staff or leadership that you're working with in the Bahamas and around the world. This is necessary. And that's why an organization like the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy will provide a varieties of opportunities and not just services, but opportunities for us to inculcate these good values within the governance of the nation on all spheres. So what we're talking about is not just only political leadership or national leadership. We expect with public seminars and workshops, we will be able to help the community in general be able to change their behavior, their thinking, their attitude as to how you look at leadership. It is very important. And this Josiah Institute, that's why it was in being developed for such a long time, because of the fact that it was necessary in the nation. I think, and as I've been doing some level of research and interaction, I've been told that there is a Kennedy Institute in the United States in Washington, D.C., where persons interested in public life goes through. There is a purpose for that, because people or persons who aspire to public office must have a level of integrity, an attitude of reform, integrity, transparency in order to ascend to the high office. But based on the challenges we have, we know that is not so. So the point of the Josiah Institute is to train leaders for good governance on all levels. Training leaders for good governance on all levels. So we will do that through motivational courses, educational workshops and seminars, developmental programs, in order for persons who are in leadership and those interested in serving the nation to focus on high ethical standards and behaviors. These are some of the strategies we will use. I am saying this because we will go into talking about the courses that are being offered, as I indicated early. Hi, Bobby. It's good to have you with us again today. And for those of you who are watching, I know Bahamians have been watching from all over the world. So if, based on where you're watching from, just give me the name of a city so that I know where you are coming from. So as we look into the need for the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy, we believe that the Bahamas, this is past due, the need for a public policy institute. But this is more than just public policy, this is leadership. Leadership being developed so that once people come to office, we can see the difference in their behavior based on the training happening in the nation. And this is what we will do. So let's get into some of the information. When you go on our website, you will see, but if you give me just a moment, I'll kind of talk about some of the board of directors and some of the advisory persons. And what is good about this institute is an itinerant institute. And when I say that, it means that we're available to go where you need us. We have a faculty. If you need us to teach something, we can teach it. We have the people, the personnel to do so. We have at least 7 or 8 PhD that's available that we will be able. So the persons who work with us does not work with us on a full-time basis. They simply teach or they advise as is necessary. And that is what makes it so wonderful, because these people who have so much expertise has given of their talent or volunteer of their talent to be able to provide this Josiah Institute in extension, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, with the kind of information or the kind of resource personnel that is necessary. Okay, as we look at the persons who are part of the leadership of this program, as I said earlier, I'm the chairman of the founder of this organization, of this school of leadership and public policy. We have Dr. Sandra Smith, who's the president, and Chief Administrative Officer. We have Dion Pratt, who is our Provost and in charge of Academic Affairs. Dr. Agnes Glinton, who is a Chaplain and Vice President of Advising. And Willa Mae Hamilton Stewart, she is our Dean of Faculty. And our legal advisor is Ms. Shami Farrington Austin. Of course, as you've heard those titles, it sounds like a university. Well, because we are operating at the level of university, tertiary level education, our courses are graduate level studies. We have designed our program to look as such. Quickly, we have a Josiah Institute. We have Family Island representatives. That is part of our team, and of course our U.S.-based management. Our U.S.-based management is headed by former parliamentarian Veronica Owens in the United States, Dr. Donald McCartney, who's also in the United States, Prestina Harris. Also, they are different places in the United States, but they are part of the team. If you do not realize, the Bahamas has Bahamians living everywhere else in the world. In the United States, I mean, there are probably more Bahamians. There are much Bahamians living in the United States, but we do have a branch of the Josiah Institute in the United States. We have advisory board members. Let me quickly go through them. Family Islands representatives and a management team. So if you go on our website, you will see that. But some of the persons who are advising, Dr. Anthony Hamilton, he's from the Civil Society Bahamas. W. Patricia Morley, she is the president of NOAB. Dr. Hastings Johnson from the Department of Public Health. Dr. Antoinette Darling, she's from the University of the Bahamas. Kendall Colbrook out of Enough Movement, Grand Bahama. Dr. Amanda Ferguson, and quite a few others. I'm just looking for the name. Mr. Prescott Smith, we know of him. Natural Resources Foundation. Dr. Chris Curry from the College of the Bahamas. Dr. Robert Tobias from American University. Karen Morse, she's a therapist and counselor. So persons lending their resources, I have to put it like that. We're very cautious in regards to this, but they are lending their resources and their expertise for what needs to be done. We also have Ms. Shalita Colley. She's a trade unionist, and she's very much adamant about the Constitution. So the Josiah Institute has the resources to be able to lend the kind of advice that is needed in the nation. As a private public policy institute, we are able, without any kind of government interference, be able to lend a kind of very independent consultation to anyone. Now, as we get to some of our courses, I want to be able to share with you so that you understand. And as I said earlier, and at this point, I am going to say it again, if you know someone who is looking to get an international certification in leadership development, call them, tell them, listen into the show, because we have an international certification program in leadership development that's available right here in Nassau coming this fall. If you are trying to get a raise on your job, if you want to get a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 raise on your job, the only way to do that is to prepare by academic preparation or leadership development in order to advance in the workplace. So if you know somebody like that, call them. I think I saw Paul Maynard earlier from the BC Union. But if you're part of the Public Service Union, let someone know you can find this right here, this information, and I'm doing this in order to give people some time in order to get, have somebody come in who would want to do that. My final appeal is this: if you plan to move to the US or to Canada, and you need certification so you can get a good job when you go, you need to do one of these programs. This is important because a lot of Bahamians are moving out of the Bahamas. They are going to Canada, they're going to the US, some are going to Europe. And so this new certification that we have available in leadership development will help you as you go wherever you're going, or if you're staying in the Bahamas. Let me explain as I go into this part of it. What the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy is offering is a future. Our chief partner in regards to this new level of training is the American University in Washington, D.C. We are offering you an opportunity to make an investment in your future. That's what we're offering. It's not just a class, it's not just a program, it's just not something you come and do and spend a couple of days, a couple of $1,000s, but we're offering you an investment in your future. Right here in the Bahamas. You cannot get this anywhere else except you attend American University. American University, as we know, is at least 2,000 miles away, and you would have to actually be in the city to be able to do this course. But instead, it is available right here in New Providence. This is what we offer, an investment in your future. We're going to talk about the American University course, and then we will talk about the Josiah Premier course. Okay, let's get right to it. And you can join me if you wish on our website. But this coming fall semester, we are offering 2 leadership development programs. Let me tell you what is the importance of these leadership development programs. The questions that we posed earlier for persons needing to get ahead on their job, because for you to be a leader on your job and you don't have leadership in your blood, you can be taught some of the principles of leadership that will take you to where you need to go to. So if you want to get ahead, these are the kinds of programs that help you. Our programs, we have 4 programs we're offering generally. Team Leaders Program, Supervisors Program, Mid-Level Program, and Senior Level Leaders. Now these programs are used by American University to train persons who work for the federal government. Now, as you know, or for some of you who do not know, when you enter the job place, the federal government, you go in with at least a bachelor's degree. And in some instances, entry level is a bachelor's or master's degree. So you can have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree in any subject. It does not mean you are a leader, or you can be promoted to a supervisor or a manager. That's why it's necessary that leadership development is important if you are going to be promoted on your job to a leader or a manager. And so these programs are used to train the federal government workers in the United States, and these programs have been offered to the government of the Bahamas to train our personnel in the public service. So if you are a member of the public service and you would like to have training separate and apart from anything that the government would want to do, you can do this. This is international certification right here in the Bahamas. This coming fall, we are offering 2 programs. As I said, we have 4 programs: a Team Leaders Program, a Supervisors Program, Mid-Level Managers, and a Senior Level Program. So those persons who are team leaders on their job, this Team Leaders Program would assist you. If you're the kind of person who could rally the troops, as we know, there are some companies that are bigger than others, you can go into this, you can use this program to allow you to learn the art of collaboration, the art of networking, the art of keeping people encouraged and motivated in order to get a certification. At the end of these courses, that you will have a certification from the American University. Let's talk about the programs that will be offered this coming fall. This coming fall, as I said before, we're offering 2 certification programs. They're not courses, they are programs, because those programs will be held over a 5-month period. And in each program, there are 5 courses, that will be offered in each of those programs. The 2 programs that we will be offering this coming fall semester is the supervisory program and the mid-level program. Ken KCX, I see you. Thanks for coming on today. The program of the mid-level program, as I said, there are 5 courses from the American University and 2 from Josiah Institute. These 2 programs will allow you 3.5 days of teaching. 3.5 days of teaching per month in the mid-level program. 7 courses, 5 courses from American University, 2 from Josiah. It will be 3.5 days per month for 5 months, plus 3 hours of executive coaching and in evaluation. This program is a total of 130 hours of instructions and interactions. The program, 130 hours of instructions and interaction over a 5-month period. This is a very intense, comprehensive program for mid-level managers. This program, if you make this investment is going to assist you with this international certification that whether you work here in the Bahamas or you decide to work somewhere else, it qualifies you in leadership development, qualify you to raise to another level on your job, in your organization. We hope to have the program beginning this coming October to next February 2020. So this program, the mid-level program, the program has a minimal cost of $12,350. The purpose of that, you go on the website, you will see the cost right there. If you go on the website, you will see the cost. You are able to register. We have a paperless way of registering so that you don't even have to come into the office. By the time you're ready to come into the office, you are almost ready to start the program. So the mid-level program will be offered this coming fall if you are interested. It is a very small cohort, so if you are interested, you have to call, reserve your space. Our second program that will be available this coming fall is our supervisory program. So if you are a supervisor, you want to be a supervisor, this next program will be for you. Now the supervisory program is the program just below the mid-level program. Thank you, Raphael Mannings, for joining us. Dr. Donald McCartney, thank you so much for joining us. As we talk about the Josiah Institute, we talk about the programs that are available in leadership development so that persons who are interested in international certification in leadership development can have it right here in Nassau this coming fall. This is an investment in your future. This is not just a program. This is an investment in your future. So whether you remain in the Bahamas or you go somewhere else to work, this certification allows you to be able to operate on the job in a new level. The supervisory program also has 7 courses, as with the mid-level, but this is a different kind of training for persons at the supervisory level. It has 7 courses, 5 are AU courses and 2 are Josiah Institute courses. The AU program will be 2 days per month, so your training will be 2.5 sessions per month for the supervisory program. 2.5 days per month, which is 95 hours of interaction and instructions. So for the supervisory level program, 95 hours of instructions and interaction over a 5-month period. Very intense. Those 2 days per month is when the American University professors come here. They are able to make instructions, invigilating, do coaching, do evaluation, assist you with developing your leadership capability and capacity to lead when they are here. The Josiah Institute take that half-day a month. So that half-day sessions, we teach constitutional core values. We streamline all of our teaching, all of our courses available. They are streamlined so that constitutional core values of good governance, of integrity, honesty is applied in all of our teaching. So these are not just managerial courses. These are not just courses in management. These are courses in leadership development. If you are prepared to operate in a globalized environment, there are certain standards in which a globalized environment operates. The Bahamas is trying to go to the WTO. They have signed on to other international conventions like the European Partnership Agreement and others. I see KCX watching, so he can identify what other agreements we're on. But whether we go to the WTO or not, the point of operating in a globalized environment is important for both public sector workers and private sector workers. And what the Josiah Institute has done, and this is not something that was easily achieved, that we were able to get the university to come and do these training right here in the Bahamas, where persons in these managerial areas in the public sector or private sector can come for their training, go back on the job, evaluate the information, and come back and to be able to extend it each month so that they are prepared for the time that they will go back on the job. So those are the training we're offering during this semester in October through February. The mid-level managers program, the supervisory level program. You can go online our website, www.thejosiahinstitute.com, and that information is available. Just further information, because beyond this semester, we're going to have other programs that we're offering. And the other programs that we're offering, as I said before, we have four programs being offered by American University, taught by their professors and our professors, in order to give the public sector worker or the private sector worker the level of experience that is tailor-made for this environment and in a globalized environment. So this American University certification available here is going to not just help you for the outside world, because even though their professors come here, our professors is also going to be here. Persons who have been involved in public life and public administration for many years, like Dr. Donald McCartney, like Dr. Sandra Smith, like William A. Stewart, Hamilton Stewart. We have persons like Shami Austin, who's been involved in the public administration for a long time. We have several persons and faculty that is able to make sure the globalized information is tailor-made for the local environment. So your investment in these courses are going to give you what you need to be able to go to the next level. Thank you so much, Dolly Williams, for coming on. We do appreciate, as I was saying earlier, for persons to just tell us where they are from. If they're a different city than Nassau, Bahamas, just let us know where you are from. I just want to say just a little bit about the other two programs that is available. Just as a note, we have offered the government of the Bahamas to be able to train some of its workers, or at least plant the seed for a new type of training for public sector workers in this new global environment. What is interesting, and I was attempting to have Dr. Robert Tobias join me today, but he was not able. He is from Washington, D.C., American University. But something we talked about as we push forward, having offered the government of the Bahamas these programs, that the digitization of the public sector, we've heard that. You might have heard that in the news, the digitization of the public sector. That's where the focus of the government is now, the Bahamas government. But one thing has been indicated to me by Dr. Tobias is that 60 to 70% of digitization, or what they call modernization of a sector, fails when there is no training of the personnel first. So if you focus on digitization or modernization, as we are in the Bahamas, and we have not trained our personnel, or at least the leadership of the personnel, to know how to manage not only the technology, but the personnel, there is a chance that that will fail. So it's important that you train your personnel before you fix your technology. Now, I know technology is running at a speed, and that speed obviously is going at a pace really beyond all of us, quickly. But nonetheless, the desire to train, retrain, refamiliarize public sector workers, and for those who are not familiar with leadership development, to a place where they can manage the public sector. Let me say quickly the other two programs that will be available in the coming months, which is the Aspiring Team Leaders Program. Oh, that is an important program. I indicated, or at least referred to it earlier. That program encouraged team leaders to be able to explore their assumptions about management, to review these policies or these theories, and to be able to realize that leadership is not just about telling people what to do, but leadership is being able to inspire, push your staff, encourage your staff to follow your lead, to make sure that you get the results and the change that you want in the organization. And so the Team Leaders Program, which we may offer in our next semester, or if a company wants that, we will do that. But we want, that is a program, that is an entry-level program really for team leaders, and it helps for new persons coming into the organization at a level, you know, sometimes we recruit persons coming in the organization with a bachelor's degree or master's degree. They've just come from school and they're just being introduced, whether to the public service or a company, a big company. So that Team Leaders Program is going to help them know how to manage that 300-400 persons on the job. So that Team Leaders Program is going to be able to take that person, help their behavior and their attitude towards leadership so that they can be able to teach. Most of these, all four of these programs are more like training the trainers. Because when you sow the seed of this leadership development in your organizations, you are going to be able to now have those persons who you've sown it to help train the other persons. Part of the competencies of that program is leading people, is leading change, is managing change, building coalitions, networking, mentoring, leading with ethics and integrity. It's result-driven, building coalition, business acumen. Before I go to the next program, let me tell you something about change. When an organization has to change its leaders, its protocol, its procedures, it requires the person who is in charge to prepare the organization for the change. A lot of times we do not prepare an organization for change and we have a lot of chaos. I've seen that in churches. Sometimes we've just decided we're going to change the pastor. And 1 week, the old pastor is there. The next week, the new pastor is there. And people who haven't been to church in 2-3 weeks, they get back and like, what happened? Where pastor so-and-so? And in addition to that, because they have not really prepared the church for the change, there is chaos. A lot of times some people leave and go to another church. Some people can't take the new procedures. All of this happens when there are changes without preparation. So part of that competency is to prepare organizations for change. And that is part of the program in these leadership development. The final one that I will just bring on is about the senior executive level. That program is an extraordinary leadership program, and it is a combination of both consciousness and competence. So when you are a senior executive, you are not just any Joe Blow in the organization, for lack of a better word. This senior program on the government level is for permanent secretaries, undersecretaries, deputy permanent secretaries. These are the levels, and probably senior directors who should have this senior executive level. I'm saying this because although we offer the government training for their personnel, persons can decide to sign up for the program themselves. So if you are in those categories, you can decide, you can get involved. This program is very comprehensive. This is for CEOs, because sometimes we end up as CEOs and we have never had any training towards that regard. But this program is for CEOs, and the participants in this program during orientation becomes highly relationally competent to both mentor and develop people and increase employee engagement. Now, you and many of you might have worked in an organization where the moral has gone down. We've heard those words when we're talking about BPL, when we're talking about BTC. The moral has gone down. This is the point of this training of the senior executive. It is to increase and maintain employee engagement. The program is to develop the kind of foresight and insight and competency needed to create vision in the organization, strategic goals and planning, innovative ideas so that employees can be part of the change of the teamwork. We are seeing a totally different kind of mechanism and dynamic in leadership at this point, because the change of how we do business. These are not management courses, these are leadership courses. And I see Dr. Donald McCartney here. He is one of our most competent teachers. We have at least 4 or 5 persons with PhD degrees in organizational leadership and organizational management. These degrees shows a new kind of dynamic as to how you lead, how you develop people, how you build coalitions. That is what these kinds of training does. And so this senior executive level program for persons at that level as CEOs, or if you're in the public sector, a permanent secretary, deputy permanent secretary, undersecretary, probably directors. We do have a scale in regards to what it means in the federal government versus the Bahamian government in terms of the structure of categories of workers in the system. But all of these programs, as I indicated, 4 programs are available by the Josiah Institute through the American University. And these are some of the things that we believe is going to be part of help developing the country and moving the nation forward. Now, when you go on our website, you will see the cost. These costs, some people might say, oh, it's high. But if you take a course that is going to give you $20,000 as a raise, as a result for taking that course, it would have worth you taking the course for 10, because you would have gotten your money back twice. That's how you must look at these investment that you're making in your future. So it's not just about having a course, getting some more information. It's about the level of development that's going to take you to the next level. I see Maria from Grand Bahama watching. I thank God for those 4 persons who come on every day and be a part of the program. Now, there is one more program. Those programs are programs for public sector workers, for private sector workers. There are 4 programs. Let me name them real quick for persons just coming online. Those 4 programs that are available through American University, international certification right here in the Bahamas. It is barely 3.5 days per month for 5 months, or 2.5 days per month for 5 months. Both of these programs is going to give you a certification that you can use anywhere in the world, available right here in Nassau. The programs, let me name them really quick. The programs through American University is the Aspiring Team Leaders Program, the Supervisors Leadership Development Program, the Mid-Level Managers Leaders Development Program, and the Senior Executive Leaders Development Program. Now, let me tell you about this, the Josiah Institute Premier Program. Now, this was the reason we actually started the Josiah Institute. And as we talked earlier, we talk about the need to produce the kind of leaders in the nation that are important for good governance. Remember, our topic, our theme, training leaders for good governance. If you want to, you can go online our website, www.thejosiahinstitute.com. It's going to have a lot of the information that I'm talking about today. The leadership, the program, that's the local program, Leadership Development, Interaction, and Decision Making. It's called the LDID program. So when you see that, when you hear that, that is our local program. We are going to be introducing that in this fall this year. That's based upon your coming on board for your program. Now, this program specifically is for persons aspiring to public office. Persons who are in public office and feel overwhelmed that they do not know what they're doing can also enroll in this program. So this can be a refresher course, a new course, but this is for persons wishing to go to public office. Now, all of us know, and that we have seen, that there are many persons who end up in the Parliament of the Bahamas, who end up in the Cabinet of the Bahamas, who end up in the Senate, and they are not aware as to what they're doing. I mean, it's a sad thing, but the fact is, it is reality. So this program, the LDID program, is for persons interested in going to public office, whether it's national office or local government. Now, we know that the dynamics of national office is much bigger than local government. Sometimes in local government, you can feel your way, but still, if you go in local government, you may want to go further. So that's why it's important that whether you're in local government or national government, you can actually take this program, the LDID program. This program teaches constitutional core values, concepts and definitions, constitutional core values application, the creation of public policy and legislation, constitutional democracy in terms of the introduction to the republic system of governance. We've talked a lot about the Westminster system, and some people want more information in that regard, and so we will bring all of that information forward. And then, of course, the fifth course is the public service. That will be taught entirely by Dr. Donald McCartney. He is an expert, 50 years in the public service. Obviously, you must know something about something. So he will be teaching on organizational procedures, protocols, leadership under a Westminster system, and recommended reforms. So this is why it is necessary that if you're going to public office, you should take this program. This program is going to give you all the information that you need so that you know how to operate under a Westminster system. Our sixth item is a site visit. A site visit is part of this program, a site visit to Washington, D.C. At that trip, you are going to be familiarized with all of the organizations we do business with. IDB, the World Bank, the IMF. These are organizations that we do business with, even the UN. And we are not sure, we call all of these organizations the boogeyman, but if you know the information, you don't have to call them the boogeyman, because you already know what they do, how we should be relating to those organizations. So this course is a powerful course. It is very inexpensive because it's a local course, and if you want to go to public life, you are thinking about it, you should sign up for this course, the LDID program. It's a small investment of only $3,200 in order to become involved in that program. All of our programs will start in the month of October and go through to February. As I said, this is an itinerant institute, which means we do not have to go along with the regular semester of other schools. We do what is necessary, as our staff is available upon request based on what we need. Now that's where we are. We've got about 9 more minutes left in our broadcast. If you are interested in sending us any information, you want to know where you can get involved, if you go online, our website, you can go to registration. You will see how you can actually secure your seat. And it's a paperless process too. It's a paperless process. You can secure your seat and you can let us know, because once we have a cohort, we are prepared to move forward. So you have to secure your seat. These are very small cohorts, but in order for you to get the best value for your money, best experience, and get involved in the program. So we are very excited in terms of what we will be doing at the Josiah Institute. Our faculty is ready, more than overqualified to be able to teach. As I said, some of the most extensive experience in the public sector, in public policy, the creation of public policy, in the creation of public administration. They have been involved. They are now part of the Josiah Institute, lending their support to the work that needs to be done in the nation. And so we do invite you, if you are desirous, you can go ahead, come online our website. You can go ahead and sign up in this regard. Now, one more point of business that I want to talk about, and it is a matter of whether the Josiah Institute is a academic institution accredited and certified. The Josiah Institute is an institute based on our courses in coming out of American University, is certified. All of our courses is certified by all of the institutions of accreditation that works with American University. These are also accreditation agencies that are certified with our local National Accreditation Equivalency Council of the Bahamas. So American University is already accredited by associations that are accepted by NACOB. You might know that name more easily. NACOB has approved all of the agencies who have accredited American University. We, as an institute, have made application for registration to NACOB. We have submitted our information, our documentation since last November to NACOB. It has been submitted. Apparently they take a long time to do whatever, but we did not need accreditation from NACOB. We simply needed to be registered at NACOB so that people understand when they're asking, they're seeking information. We have applied to NACOB for registration of the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy. If you go online, NACOB's website, you will see that Josiah Institute has submitted its application. I will repeat this one thing: we do not need accreditation from NACOB. We simply need to be registered. We have since last November submitted our application with more than 61 documentation to NACOB for the registration of the Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy. So it is a legitimate school. It has the backing of a U.S. university with all the accreditations that are approved by NACOB and in the United States. And so we are prepared to do business with you. We are prepared to do business in the country because of our transparency and accountability to the powers that be. So we look forward to having you get online with us if you wish to do one of our courses for the October term, for the fall term. You can go online our website and do so. Our numbers are also online our website, where you can call us. You can call myself or the president, our offices, so that you can get involved. But go online, see how it is you can secure your space. But let me just give you two telephone numbers now: 242-423-2709. That's our WhatsApp line. You can send for information, or 242-423-2709, or 242-524-1798. Go online our website and register. So we thank you so much for watching. I see Jonathan Nemore come online. We do appreciate. Jonathan, where are you? I think I know a Jonathan, but where are you watching from, Jonathan? So I am just going to make sure that we have given you all the information that we need in order to give you the opportunity to be involved. The Josiah Institute for Leadership and Public Policy. We are a teaching and learning community for leadership, for public policy. We are concerned with reform, implementation, and training training leaders for good governance. It is our motto. We are expecting to do what we can to change the temperature in the nation. Persons going forward for leadership can find the level of training and familiarization that they need in order to go forward. Again, we are coming up on our first year of the declaration of our charter, which is the 8th of August 2018. We're excited that after 1 year, we are taking off to the next level, and that is an important matter. So go ahead and call us, send us an email if you have to. The Josiah Institute.com is our website, our website, www.thejosiahinstitute.com. Our email is info@thejosiahinstitute.com, info@thejosiahinstitute.com, or josiahinstitutebahamas@gmail.com. Just reach out to us. Once you go on our website, you're going to find the information, and let us know if you would like to be a part of one of these cohorts for the fall. It's not just a program. It's not just a course. It's an investment in your future. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon as we conclude. And as always, I'd like to say, God bless and keep safe the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Good evening, everyone.